and sadly, we just seen that teleprompter you was reading off of. You don't know nothing. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Micca, and we're back for another Red Cup Talks because y'all know when we have the Red Cup, we're about to spill some truth. And the truth is Kamala Harris don't know nothing, nada. Okay? Now, if y'all don't know, I am Cuban, okay? My dad's family is Cuban. And baby, Mama Chulo don't know nada, okay? She knows nada about Latinos, let alone being on Univision doing a town hall. And then she gets caught, OMG, she gets caught with that teleprompter. Did you see that in the opening? The cameraman is shady. I'm telling y'all, I keep telling y'all, when in broadcasting, the cameraman, the engineers, all of them, they're shady. They will push a button out. Okay, but it spins around like this and gives a whole 360. But we're about to get into it. Let's just jump into it. Here we go.
What would you specifically do, or your administration do, to help us in the Tampa Bay area or the Central Florida area with this hurricane?
The administration didn't do enough in terms of relief for families affected by hurricane. What would your administration do differently in the case of Milton?
Well, first of all, thank you for the question. I hope your family is okay and your home is okay.
Yes, they are.
Okay. So
okay, that whole, I hope your family is okay and I hope your home is okay. Ma'am, you change your accent depending on who you're talking to. You better thank a union worker. Y'all remember that, right? And then the other day she was on Colbert, having no sense, man, which is supposed to be, I guess, her Jamaican accent. And now she's like, oh, well, okay. Okay, papi. Yeah, no, papi chulo, I know the answer, but the man of the matter. You guys see that? So now it's off, right? So if you just, let me rewind it a little bit so you guys can see this. Do you see it? I don't know if you can see my cursor here, but if you look at that teleprompter that's sitting in between, right? There is, you know what? Like, wow. Are y'all seeing that? I'm gonna let Kamala finish what she's saying, but you guys got to see right here that she is just doing her word salad again. She's doing a new accent. Okay. All right. Cool. I'm glad your family is okay. And now she's reading off a teleprompter. So this tells you none of this stuff is authentic. Okay. Like, I crack jokes and things like that, but this woman is not authentic. And it's a shame. And she thinks she's going to come to the Hispanic and Latino community. And we're just going to be like, okay. Now, the thing is, Latinos do not play identity politics per se, right? I mean, like everybody wants representation and things like that. But Latinos are going to vote for who Hispanics and Latinos are going to vote for who is going to help with their businesses, okay? And Kamala ain't it. When I tell you she's not it for helping businesses, she's not it. When the pandemic happened and all the businesses closed, all the governors decided to do what they wanted to do, especially the Democratic governors. They wanted to close these states and these stupid policies, stay 90,000 inches away from somebody else. And we find out that none of that actually mattered. It didn't work. But with all of those things, right? Here it is. The governors closed these states in these Democratic states. And what happened was they reopened certain stores for their, corporation buddies. Because they always tell you, it's the Republicans that are into corporations. No, it's not. It is not just the Republicans. And it is especially the Democrats. Like, they're in bed with all the military industrial complex at this point. And they're in bed with all the corporations, right? But they don't show you that side. But here on the Red Cup, we're going to pour it up. Check it out.
California Latino vote with a weakening of support for Kamala Harris.
In tonight's Politics at Large report, Steve is live in studio with.
And California is supposed to be her stronghold, okay? That is supposed to be her stronghold. She's the former prosecutor of California, right? And senator. And look at what's happening.
The new numbers and the new voices who say they will vote for Donald Trump. Steve.
Tony, Marley, yeah, this is a big talker for generations. The Democratic Party has been counting on the Latino vote to help win elections. This year, that vote is up for grabs more than ever before.
Who are you planning on voting for president?
Donald Trump.
Jay Martinez is a registered Republican who recently converted from the Democratic Party.
And who did you vote for when it was Trump versus Hillary Clinton?
At that juncture, Hillary Clinton.
Martinez, a third-generation Mexican-American, says he changed political parties ahead of the 2020 election.
So tell me what changed.
Well, I was a little bit nervous in the beginning when he got elected, as many people were. But I thought, hey, let's give this guy a chance to see what he could do.
Martinez.
That's because he was worried because of all the rhetoric. Oh, Trump is Hitler. He's going to be the worst, the worst, the worst, the worst, the worst. And so he was, apprehensive and scared. But, he's about to tell us what happened, baby.
His grandfather first migrated to California from Mexico as a farm worker through the federal Bracero program. Martinez is now a small business owner who has his own children and is one of the many Latino voters now aligned with the Republican Party.
I've always kind of prided myself being an independent thinker.
According to a new UC Berkeley LA Times poll, California Latino support for Kamala Harris is at 54% to Donald Trump's 35%. That's a big drop in Latino Democratic support from just 4 years ago when Joe Biden won 70.
See, you see those numbers, right? And that's because Latino voters, you got to think, when the pandemic happened, right? That happened under Trump. Okay. So unfortunately that happened under Trump. And so the Latinos went straight for Joe Biden, right? But surely they figured out, that their businesses were going to go down. They figured out that they weren't going to make much money and, breaks for small businesses, right? They're paying taxes out the what. So at the end of the day, they wisened back up and said, oh, no, we're going to go back Republican. Because Cubans in Miami, even though places around Miami tend to be very blue. Cubans or, Hispanic, Latino people tend to be very conservative. They're about family and they will vote Republican. Now, a lot of the ones on the West Coast, they tend to be a little split, right? A lot of them will vote Democrat. A lot of them will vote Republican. However, that tide is starting to shift, as you see with these numbers. Kamala Harris got 54% compared to Joe Biden 75%. That's a big decrease.
5% of California Latino vote.
What has happened in 4 years?
Well, a number of things have happened. The first is most of this I attribute to just a really significant and rapid demographic shift.
Mike Madrid is the author of the book, The Latino Century, How America's Largest Minority is Transforming Democracy. He says,
now you hear that, America's largest minority. So what does that mean for Black people? You see what they don't really tell you, right? They're when they're talking, when these Democrats are talking, you have to listen, right? They focus on Black women because they know they could just get that vote, right? So they make it like this woman's a Black woman when she's not a Black woman, but they make it like she's a Black woman. And that way they have your vote in the can. But they promise you nothing. The biggest minority group is Latinos, okay? Is the Hispanic population. So when you add all of that up, it is a big population and they understand this on top of the illegal immigrants that they're letting in, right? So you have to take all of this stuff into consideration.
Latino voters are more motivated by pocketbook issues than through the lens of racial and immigration issues.
What we're watching is the explosion of a whole new generation of Latino voters coming online that are overwhelmingly U.S. born.
Could this election come down to the Latino vote?
It will come down to the Latino vote.
A presidential race too close to call, and a new Latino voting base no longer locked into place.
I think we're going through something different.
So y'all see there that the new base and what the election will come down to is the Latino vote. That's why, and this is just my humble opinion, that's why illegal immigration is happening, right? But it also affects Latino people. So they think they're being slick by letting, illegal people from South America and Central America. But what they're not understanding is Latino people also do not like illegal immigration, right? Especially when they had to fight and scrape to come over here, with green cards and, visas and all of this other stuff, right? Just to get here, just to be here legally, right? So it also affects them and their businesses as well, right? And so they're going to vote with that interest as well. But Latino people tend to be very, and I say very, business minded, right? A lot of the bodegas and the stores and things like that in the community make for generational wealth. Okay. So now we're going to get into another piece where we're talking to Latino women and what they had to say about this election. Here we go.
Community that is torn between the two candidates. And as the polling shows, they're torn between the two candidates and two parties more so than they have been in, the last 20 years. And that really comes out in talking to voters because they're torn within their households. They're torn within the community. They're even torn within themselves in choosing who they're going to vote for, which issues, which values are the ones that are going to ultimately guide their decisions at the ballot box. I want to play you clips from a couple of interviews that I did recently over the course of the weekend at a park very near where I am now, where there was a youth soccer league happening. We were talking to some parents, and I'm going to play you two clips from two different interviewees, and then I'll talk a little bit about kind of what I concluded from both. Take a listen.
I love what Donald Trump did for us as an economy while he was in presidency, and I don't know what she has to offer because she's new. So that's kind of like taking a chance on her, so that's what I mean. But I do like how she is doing a lot of things for small businesses.
The 4 years he was in office, we were doing good, absolutely good. Kamala, she's already in office and ain't done.
Oh, that's a Boricua right there. I'm telling you that. I'm telling you that's what that is. And if you don't know, they're from Puerto Rico. I'm telling you that's what she is. Because, woo, mamacita.
And, there was more work too. We were able to afford things.
So that first voter, Griselda, she told me she's about 60-40 leaning towards Trump, but still very much open to being persuaded and open to hearing more from the Harris campaign. That second voter, Veronica, she is 100% in for Trump, but I also met her husband who did not want to go on camera, and he says that he's voting for Harris and that they had an argument about that just that morning, the day that they met them. So again, households are torn, people are torn. As far as how the campaigns are reaching out to these people, the story there, Anna, basically is that the Democrats and the Harris campaign is vastly outspending the Trump campaign and has, I would say, a clearer vision of who this community is and how they're trying to reach them. Just as an example, they've spent more than $13 million on ads in Hispanic media markets. That's more than 20 times the amount the Trump campaign has spent on the same. They're spending also lots of money on field outreach. Of course, the question is, we don't know if that is going to translate to votes in November.
It's not going to translate to votes. I'm going to tell you why. It's not going to translate the votes because it's not authentic. All right. You could put up every ad you want. And this goes for either side, right? But the reason why Trump is making inroads is because not only is he putting up, ads every now and then, he's actually been able to tout a record, right? And show what he can do. Kamala has a record between the prosecutors and these last 4 years. And the last 4 years have been horrible. You heard her. They ain't done. You know what I mean? So they can feel this in their purse. They can feel it in their pocketbooks. They can feel it with their jobs. They're not playing with her. We have not seen Kamala in like 3.5 years, right? Which was the big hoopla around Kamala because nobody has seen her. So they're like, well, where have you been all this time, right? You were supposed to be the border czar, haven't seen you at the border. You show up a couple of months before the election at the border for 20 minutes, right? You haven't talked to anybody in Florida, and there's plenty of Latinos in Florida, and all of a sudden now you pop up there with having a debate with DeSantis. Why? Because you want that vote. That's why. You want the vote But guess what? You have to show the work. Latinos are not going to give it to you. They don't play identity politics like that. Latinos want to see it in their pocketbooks. They want to see it on that spreadsheet. They want to see it in their bodega returns, right? The ROIs with their businesses. They want to see it. Kamala Harris does not provide receipts, right? She don't even provide invoices, okay? And this town hall did nothing for her. So let's finish up with the town hall. Here we go.
I have been working over the course of the last couple of years, not even couple of years, my whole career, but couple of weeks.
You're absolutely right. Not even a couple of years. This woman is sitting here lying. She literally got into a spat with DeSantis about not picking up her phone call when you're not even in the conversation. In the words of Chris Brown, how you gonna hate from outside? You can't even get in. She sure was. And if you don't know what she's talking about, this is what she's talking about.
We really got to watch those areas and those communities. So it takes quite a while for that water to drain.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Ken, I have a question for you. You mentioned words matter, and I know there's a lot of media following this briefing. So there have been we've gone from a Cat 5 to a Cat 4, and the language that a lot of folks have been using is downgrade. But it sounds like you're cautioning us that may communicate a sense that the danger is lessened when in fact it's
Alafaya River, the Peace River, some of these type of traditional places that could flood. We really got to watch those areas and those communities. So it takes quite a while for that water to drain.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Ken, I have a question for you.
So as you see right there, right, she's on with FEMA and the secretary and all of that. And she's like, I'm on a live broadcast. I'm on a live broadcast, right? Like, who is she talking to? Again, it's just like the teleprompter, right? And for the life of me, I know everybody says this is a conspiracy. But every time she has one of those types of events, she has those same earrings on. I mean, the exact same. She doesn't wear them any other time other than when she's doing like, town hall or some type of press where she has to constantly answer questions or she needs questions to ask. Okay. So I'm still going to let you guys say it's conspiracy, but for the life of me, it's a conspiracy that I'm willing to believe because those earrings are matching up with every time she goes and talks. But this is what she was just referring to when she said she was on a meeting with the Secretary of Defense and FEMA. Okay, so this is a real touching story, and it's a lot of, Latino and Hispanic people's story, right? However, her parents did come over here illegally, right? And so the immigration system is broken, all right? It changed in 1996, okay, under IRA, which is a Democratic law, right, for immigration. And that was Bill Clinton. So when you add all of these things up, the Democrats have been the issue, okay? And so, but it is a bill that, it is an issue that needs attention. I will agree with her with that. Democrats keep this one issue in their pocket. That way they can politicize it and use it towards that group. The same as I feel the same way towards, not immigration, I'm sorry. I feel the same way towards reparations and Black people with the Democrats because the California Democrats ran on reparations. And they were gung-ho, we're going to get reparations, we're going to give you reparations. And when it came time to it, they didn't even put the bill up for a vote. They didn't do it. And when asked by the group that they kept telling was going to get reparations, they locked them out. They literally locked them out of being able to come into the California Capitol. All right. So what I'm saying is they use this immigration or anything that pulls at your heartstrings of a certain group, of a certain identity group, because they like to play identity politics. They will use that against that group. So with that being said, I do feel sympathy for this young lady, right? But Kamala Harris does not care. She don't care about that. Meanwhile, I keep telling y'all, every time she goes into a touchy moment, she's going to touch that $62,000 necklace that she has on her neck. Okay? That necklace that she has is a $62,000 Tiffany necklace. But let's get into what she's going to say here. Didn't I tell you? Oh, tú no cuela la jala, eh? Okay, so what about the Trinidad? What are you doing about them, ma'am? What are you doing about Trinidad? Trinidad. Right now in Chicago, right now in Colorado, right now on the East Coast, moving New York City, Pennsylvania. Like, what are you doing about the Trinidad? They are from Venezuela. So she wants to talk to you about stuff from back in the day, back when she listened to Tupac, those back in the days. And what she, her record on that, but she's not talking about her record now. And the record now is you do nothing about these Venezuelan gangs. You do nothing about that. You do nothing about the border. You only went there for 20 minutes. You haven't been there. Even Lester from NBC, you haven't been to the border, and I haven't been to Europe. Well, ma'am, Europe is one thing and the border is another. You haven't been, and you just went a couple of weeks ago for 20 minutes. But transnational gangs. Okay.
Donald Trump found out about that bill. It's about solving problems on behalf of the people.
Okay, guys, look. So you just seen a couple of little highlights from the Univision, and you've seen her blunder with that teleprompter. This woman cannot, I repeat for the life of me, she cannot not have a teleprompter. Because when she does, things like this happen.
Y'all see Magic Johnson? Remember his number, 32. Today we got 32 days until the election. So 32 days.
30. Child, look, if y'all vote for that woman, you're crazy. Like I said, the Hispanic community is a nada, okay? It's a no más. Not doing it. All right. So get down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, and subscribe. I have videos somewhere here. Right. Go ahead and check them out. Let me know what you think on all of them. All comments are welcome, even ones that I don't even agree with. But like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know. And if you want to support, please support by going to Cash App with $ officially Micca. That's spelled MICCA, officially Micca. And you can also support down in the comments with a super thanks. And you can support with super chats as well. Again, I appreciate everything. It's your girl Micca. I'm out. Peace.